be shy.
That's it.
Get in and mix.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
Jared, if you want to take any pictures since you have plates. So if you let this table do this one, and you say the seed table, then you're going to do the seed mix, and then later you'll do this one. So here now, we need to fill some pots. So I'll show you there's some soap bubbles.
Up to level.
Up to level. So if we empty this, we might need to fill it again. One little trick I use is to use a bottle of one
Oh, I think it works.
Careful with the
Smart.
Just
Just not like, just.
well, you want it a bit more. Yes. You can be the supervisor here. You know quite a bit about this, don't you? Maybe supervisor, not whatever. You can be the guide. Really easily. Would you like to come to a table where you're a bit closer and you can see? I'll come back to you then. You're free to have a piece and feel if you like, but it's very light and very puffy, but it doesn't decompose. It stays like this. So when you have a potting mix or one of the mixes we're making, it's kind of keeping little air pockets in the soil. In these mixes, I also have some sand here. And over there, I have some compost. But let's look at the recipes we're going to make, because we're going to make the seed raising mix, we're going to make the cuttings mix, and do those projects, and then swap tables, so you get to do each thing. So seed raising mix, these are parts. So this isn't like 1 cup or 1 teaspoon or anything. This is just equal parts. So you could be using what I've got today, a scoop like this, which is my measuring thing. Sometimes when I'm doing a lot of this, I make wheelbarrows, like 1 full wheelbarrow of one material, 1 full wheelbarrow of the other. So it's about the ratios. So for the seed raising mix, it's equal parts coria, which is the coconut stuff, which really holds a lot of moisture, and perlite, which is the volcanic rock that drains really easily. So you're getting equal 50-50 between holding water and draining water. For the cuttings, it's a different recipe. For cuttings, you kind of need to hold moisture in the mix for, like it needs to stay consistently moist for a long period of time, because it takes at least 6 weeks for these plants to start making little roots. And they're very vulnerable. They don't like to be drenched and then dry and then drenched and dry. You kind of want to keep it nice and evenly moist. So for this, we have 3 parts of coir, 1 part of perlite, 1 part of vermiculite, and 2 parts of sand. And so you have the sand and the vermiculite and the coir all holding moisture. So it's more of a heavier and wetter media than the seed raising mix. So I've got the big bowls on the table and the recipe cards essentially. One thing that's really important when we're especially sowing seeds is labeling. And I'm trying to show you today how we do a lot of this with recycled or non-purchased materials. So these are all containers that you've seen me use in the garden. We plant them out, and then I take these away. And I wash them and recycle them for projects like this. So the pots are recycled for us today. A lot of the bunnings are having collection points out the front where you can bring these pots back to be recycled. If you're wanting pots, you can go and take some from there, and they don't mind. When we do the cuttings, you need something that's called a dibber to poke a little hole into the container where you are going to put your plant. And I just use sticks that are cut to a nice length that I reuse again and again. You also need to have a label, especially when you're growing seeds, because if you plant out 5 little trays of those seeds, and then they start coming up, are you going to know which one is the broccoli and which one is the spinach? I mean, maybe if you're really super clever. But another way I like to make labels is to use milk containers. I cut them into little pieces that I can write on with Texas. So I'll just show you an example. I use the black sections. Ooh, this apple juice is smelling a bit cidery. If you're thinking, has Adina been drinking this morning? This apple juice. So this is a really good pair of like utility scissors, better than just the other ones that are in the house. But cutting up, you can use, you know, an old yogurt container, milk bottles, anything like that to make labels where now you can write on that and stick it into the side of the container. So what we're going to do now is we're going to divide and conquer. This group is going to work together to make seed raising mix and fill the containers with seed raising mix. This group is going to work together to make a cuttings mix and fill, we won't use all of the containers, we'll use half to start, half, yeah, because then when we swap, everyone gets the same chance. Fill them with cuttings mix. When we fill them, we're going to fill them basically to the top, and we're going to press them down a little bit. We don't want it to be heaped up or low, we want it pretty much to the top and nice and even. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to follow these recipe cards to make the mix in our containers. Fill up half of the containers on your table with the mix, and then we'll pause and I'll give you the next set of instructions. I have gloves. We shouldn't need face masks with this because I've moistened all of the materials, but if you feel more comfortable with a face mask, I have them here. Gloves are important if you have any kind of cuts on your hands. So I right now have little cuts here and there. I'm going to wear gloves when I'm working with these mixes because if you have any little cut and you're working with these kind of materials, then bacteria can get into your body. So gloves are here. Any little cuts, please pop on a pair of gloves.
You use just rubber gloves or gardening gloves. It's any special gloves.
Yes, but if you have a cut, I feel like the kitchen gloves as well, because the garden gloves, water can go through them. So if you have dirty water,
all right.
so if you have any open cuts, I like the vinyl gloves. So, are you confident to start?
No.
No. You're not confident?
We've never done it before.
We'll work together. What I'm going to invite you to do is have a look at your recipe card. Here are your ingredients. Here is your measuring scoop.
Yeah.
And you got your bowls to put it in.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you want to nominate one person from your table or you all want to come together.
You used these before?
Yes, they're recycled. But then this morning I gave them a soap in water.
You haven't cleaned them, have you?
Well, I put soap and submerged them in water, so they're not clean, but they have been rinsed. So a lot of times when you use pots, they still have.
Have you done anything?
I will watch. I like
You
to
mean
watch.
like water crystals?
I like to watch.
Sometimes, not so often.
I've done it.
Or
Water. When the roots come out,
yeah.
so I make my own oil. And then I put crystal on the
So
bottom.
feel it right up the whole way. Feel it, eat like
Come on, I will.
right up
I will.
this much. Yeah, there you go. That much. Okay, so you're making one part
See you later, mate.
perlite and one part Hoya. If this is still, we might need to break this up a little more. Remember I said it's a break and you add water? There we go. A little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the difficult one over here.
Yeah, yours is more complicated. So mix it all the way through, like you're mixing a cake batter. So how many of these? How many of these? How many?
Yeah.
One, and then one of this one.
Yeah. So I reckon you get another scoop of each again, I reckon.
That's very convenient. Bobby the dog passed all the best plans.